iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Maruma Gallants have been relegated to the Glad Africa Championship. Oh, so sorry. To the Mutsepe Foundation Championship. To the Mvela Panda League. Yeah, so many names. National First Division. Maruma Gallants, the way you started this week was so strange. Such a poor display of leadership. With players complaining about money. By a phone, they can see what you got prize money from CAF. Oh, okay, $400,000 means 13 million rands. None, they can read. None keep my statements. No, we pay you, so you don't dictate to us some bonuses. And I'm like, so this is how you lead, basically. You are telling the guys who you need to save your status in this week. You're not going to pay them those bonuses. Bashayo ake ku semi-final. Baxabula kanabom ke ngoku kulowa namhlanje umdlalo. Siphelele status se 50 million. There you go. Would you rather spend $1 million in bonuses to the players or lose a 50 million status? Because that's usually like how much it goes for a PSL status, 50, 30, 40, depending on what you negotiate. Sometimes it can even be higher depending on what you negotiate. So congratulations to Maruma Gallants. They're out of the league. Unfortunately and sadly, Chippa United stay in the league. We say sadly because if you follow football, you will know all the transgressions that the team has committed against coaches. Siema has saved them today. It's the same Siema that he will be crying in the next 3 or 4 months. Maybe 4 months. 4 months because at least there will be 2 months of off-season. So there won't be football so that he can be fired. And then the first 2 months of the league, he will be out by then, as predictable as that is. So he survived. Maritzburg United will be playing in the playoffs against Kazakh Stars and Cape Town Spurs. Mamelodi Sundowns are out of the CAF Champions League, so here we are then. We didn't even think that we would have this conversation, but we're having it. What did you make of that game, sir?
Mr. Kunjan Fit. Also Drake.
Nothing was the same.
Justice, Machaka, and Buddhism and Makai. Can you support in Jalo like iDiskiTV? So, be enjoying Jalang chicken food. Mr. Gil, you know, I like when somebody comes and be honest. And then, more honest, meaning we was begging me, no, it's you, it's not somebody else, it's you. You cannot go to the shop and buy experience.
Yeah, that's what Rulani said.
I was saying, if I was begging me, I was begging what team law, and then he says, you cannot go to the shop and buy experience.
It could mean a lot of things. So it could mean that, because remember, this game is 0-0.
Yeah.
At some point, it's 1-0.
Yeah.
1-0 to Sundowns, right?
Yeah.
And then it's 1-1.
Yeah.
And there are 15 minutes left. Sundowns scored with 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
It is 2-1. Now, the experience that he's talking about could be completely different to the one you're thinking of. It could be that he says, I would have loved for my players to kill that game. Make it just difficult. Because if it was them, they were just going to kill it. Like, if they have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, they were just going to kill it. Like, just literally just delay. Goalkeeper is injured out of nothing. And then until the game ends. So, when your experience maybe could be that all the decisions that they've made up to this point, to be fair, that team played their hearts out. That team was better than all these teams in Africa in terms of playing football. And I said it last week that unfortunately football is not the only thing that plays in football. It's also the trickery. It's also circumstances. You just lose a game because you lost the game. Yeah, but not because you're not always going to play better than the other team and win all the time. There will be other circumstances as well.
Mr. Kyo, when Fumelana nae makashoka njalo ukuthi you cannot go and buy experience. Mr. Kyo, number one, Bega namsel bengfuna ukuthi bawine by finally. I wanted them to win. But one thing that we were talking behind was, you could see these guys, they've been in this game for a long time. They've got experience, guys. And you could see the way they are playing with these guys. They know when to push. They know when to stop. But when you look at Sundowns, They were going all the way. It goes to say you needed experienced players in your team to say, now it's time to cool down. Now let's just keep the ball. Let them come.
That's why I'm saying the experience you're talking about is different to the one he's talking about, because he would say, because you say experienced players, and I know where it usually goes. He would say, with the players that I have, it would have been nice for them to be more experienced at this level, because they would have known how to manipulate this game. They would have known that all we need here is to kill each and every minute, every time. There must be someone going down. For the next 7 minutes, we are leading 2-1. Someone must go down at least every single minute. Someone must go down to get there. Or the ball boys. I saw even the ball boys actually, when it was Sundowns 2-1, they were getting missing a little bit. Which is, they tried as much as they could, but maybe they wanted to try more. So in his instance, he would not be talking about experience in that he needed the experienced players that he was not using. Abo Onyango, Abo Charlie, and any other experienced player that he didn't use. I'm sure if Onyango, for example, was there, he was going to go down. 100,000%. Like, I just know that he was just going to go down. But he means experience. I'm sure he means that he wants those guys to be more experienced. These are my group of players.
Yeah, I can agree with you, Mr. Uguti. Maybe he means that. But you know, in football, you need to go back and say, in this crop, do I have experience? No, I want them to play so that they can get the experience. That will be every coach, including myself. I put myself in that. We all say this: play them to get that experience. But you need to balance. You need to balance as much as you want to play them to get that experience. But you need to balance. You need real experience in the poles, in the defense, in the midfield, and in the attack. That spinal cord, you need to balance. I always emphasize now, for them to get the experience, they need to play. That is very good. That's what Rulani did. But one thing that he didn't see it coming is that there will be a stage where you will need real experience.
And this is the thing also about the results. And this is why I don't want to be unfair to Sundowns. And I try to push back even with Junior. Is that when they are winning, no one says that. When they are winning, no one thinks about that, no one says that. So, in Mamelodi Sundowns' eyes, and with me, I said they are the best team with the remaining 4, because I watched all of them. They're the best football playing team with the remaining 4. It just so happens that with football, that's not the only thing that you require. It's not the only thing that you become the best team. Like Man City has been the best football playing team for the past 5 years, but they've never won the Champions League. It's only now that they look like they might win it because they are in the final. And the time they lost the final to Chelsea as well, which is my team. Now, you can be the best football playing team, but not be the team that goes on to win, because football is not limited to just that one aspect. There is the aspect of milking a set piece, which Wydad did that. They milked set pieces so that they can whoop in those crosses. There's an element also, the experience, now that we are leading, can we then buy time? There's also the experience of even cheating people, the type of accommodation they get, the treatment that they receive, and all of that. So for me, I don't want us to be unfair, because when Sundowns was winning, there was no. This is what I try to balance as well. Every time they lose, we go back to this default position of experienced players, especially under Charlie. But when they are winning, there's no mention of that. Now we have to be fair to that team. I think that they played better football today. Wydad Casablanca lifted their levels today. To be fair to them, they lifted their levels, but they played better football the whole tournament up to this point, to the point where they beat the shit out of Al-Ahli 5-2. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter because that's in the group stages and Al-Ahli are in the final. That's unfortunately in the football. Playing the better football does not always mean you win, but you have to play the better football. Yeah,
Mr. Geo, that's a sad part with football, is that sometimes you can play good football and end up in the losing side. Like what happened today. It's a normal thing where if a team loser, we'll have questions there and there. When the teams wins, maybe we're not going to voice out our concern, but there and there. Yeah, they've won, but you could see at some point they needed after that, the last 15 minutes, they needed somebody that was going to do this and that and that. Of which it goes to say, you need those experienced guys to say, now it's time to do this. Now don't do this. Sundowns, good team. They play good football. They attack. They're scoring. But you need experience. That was, including to him. He needed somebody. He's been there. Mamela, let's be dating now. We need to be dating now. We can't be smart all the time. Now we just need to, let's hit it on the corner flag. Let's tell them, go and delay there, push them, do whatever, buy time there. It's just that, Mr. K, unfortunate, Sundowns end up losing out now.
Maybe just one more thing. So at a personal level, I want to bring something up that you've always been bringing up.
Yeah.
Maybe the coaches will learn from this.
Yeah.
I don't think that after the 70th minute of every game, they need Mbule, especially when they're chasing a game or when the game is highly pressured. Because in as much as he's good going forward, there is a point where, because of his fitness maybe because of the characteristic of the player that he is, the personality of the player that he is, not a human being, but the type of player that he is that he doesn't help them. Last week you pointed it, as the game was ebbing and flowing up and down, from the 65th minute, it was no longer a factor. Today, there was always that danger. And I saw the substitutions being made, and I was looking, and he's good going forward, because I think the second goal, he was helpful. He made a spin, he released the ball. He was helpful going forward, but there's a point where when the game is ebbing and flowing and there's high pressure, you don't need luxury players.
Mr. Kyo, I think he needed to change him the position. Buisa Umren again on that left, push him to that pocket, where it will be him and Numshish in those pockets, and then allow Ulontuzana Ushalulege. Then that will be better. But now Berambegela, and now when he needs to play without a ball, he was struggling. After that 65 minutes going to 7, he was struggling. But the only time we were going to see him, look at the position. That's why I'm saying you are supposed to move him to that pocket, because where he created the second goal, he was in that pocket. Where I believe we could move him there. Push it if you don't want to take him out. Push him there and push him to Sembrena. Balance the left side.
Whenever we need to defend.
Then I know you can go and come back. Then Mbule, cheat on that pocket. Then we know that we've got Umshishi on the right, we've got Mbule here. But now it was only one side. And now we had Umshishi on the right, on that pocket. But on the left, we didn't have a pocket. And I believe, for me, that was only a difference with Sundowns today, because I think they missed Umayema in this game today. Because if Umayema was there, he was going to make a huge difference, because you need somebody. The Sundowns, they were using one pocket where it will be Umshishi. But the other side on the left, it was always free. That pocket was, no one was occupying that pocket. Or either Umbule, if we had that energy to go in the box. But the change, Kulisi, I thought the worst scenario, put them in 2. Make them Babi Tula, Umbule Lapan. Then
I think at that time they were chasing. They needed one more goal. They needed one goal. I don't agree with that substitution, but I understand the logic of it. That you're putting an attacker for a midfielder, so you need people that can attack for you, and that's the mindset at that time.
Yeah, that was a good change because he ended up a goal. But you need to look at again, as much as you want the goal, but don't concede.
Yeah, I think maybe immediately when they scored, they could have then sacrificed and put in a defensive.
Look at the equalizing goal, the own goal. What happened on the left? Who made the foul?
Yeah, I can't remember who made the foul. I remember the positioning.
It was Mbule.
Yeah.
He made a foul, and then they penned it in. Then own goal. Finish.
And that's it. There you go. Mr. So-and-so, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who's been watching us. One more game in South Africa this season. It was supposed to be 2 more games left with Sundowns plus the Nedbank Cup final, but it's 1 more game now. That's the Nedbank Cup final. We'll come back next week then to cover that. iDiskiTV, Diski Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you for watching us.